I have my crew. Today's session is titled Microsoft Excel for Beginners and Intermediate Users. I would like to start by thanking the management of Riverdale Professional Services and our guests for attending to this session. So there are some basic assumptions we are going to make right now. The assumption Hello, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. So, I would like to welcome everyone on board today. We have a lot of people who have signed up, so I know that some will come in late. Please, for decorum, put your phone in silent or your mic in silent mode, so that we're not distracting others. We are going to make some basic assumptions as we start. We know that everyone on board here have different levels of Excel skills before now. So, but we tend to run this over through several series, and so we want to build it starting from today as we go along, so that we can carry everybody along. So that's why we target for beginners and intermediate users. Now, Excel is a wonderful tool used by everyone. I mean everyone, including for domestic use at home, for office use, engineers use it, accountants use it, QS, that's quantity surveyors use it, cost accountants or cost specialists use it, market women use it, small entrepreneurs use it. For instance, house couples could use it to plan their cash flow. The husband to bring his salary, the wife's salary on the spreadsheet, and they start to allocate expense to utility, expense to food, expense to transport and travels and things like that, and expense to rent. So depends on what you want to do. It's user friendly and it has reduced business time. Through Excel, you can reduce business time drastically. In the 80s, I can recall that when people knew little or nothing about spreadsheets like this. We used to have a lot of people go to the office to sum up, to add up using their 16-digit calculators to add up a large amount of data. But with Excel now, all the tasks usually done by over 40 people can be compressed to just one single spreadsheet and interlinked in such a way that you don't need all those number of staff to get things done. Some people have used it to run their business, small business, to the point of generating receipts, invoices, and the rest, emailing as well to customers. It's a very, very powerful tool. Now, there are other tools that are similar to Excel, but they're not as popular. Something like CodeFlow. Somebody, I want to meet all the participants. Okay. So, an application like CodeFlow Pro. CodeFlow Pro is a spreadsheet as well that works like this Microsoft Excel, but it's not likely unknown now. But in the 90s, we were using it. Now, there are certain things that you already used to on Word documents, other Microsoft applications that are going to be very handy, come in handy here. So please, just maintain an open mind. Take notes. When you want to ask questions, you ask it towards the end. We're going to end of the session, we'll give you an assignment. You go deliver the assignment ahead of next session. Our technical crew will communicate to you when the next session will be. So please, just take it easy. Even if you are maybe at advanced level right now, know that you have some other people who are below, they have never used it before, right here on board. So here with them. So we are still on the overview. What you see on the flyer here are basically bullet points of what we are going to discuss. We have a whole lot. People have also recommended other things that we need to add, which we are also considering adding. So the management of Riverdale Professional Services are of the opinion that if we continue to share knowledge like this, the nation's efficiency, employees' efficiency, employers' efficiency at workplace will be greatly improved, and that will affect our overall GDP as a nation. So this is why they carved out this training and made it out. Now they were going to send you a questionnaire at one stage. That questionnaire, please fill it out. Let us know other trainings that we need to get packaged for you as well. So take your time to write it down or pin it down that questionnaire. So let us start by. So as we talk about this training, we'll take you to template, ribbon, launch, button, cell, rows. All these things you will see them as we go along. Columns, range. They are all under overview. Name of cell, range, sheets, record formula bar, name a window, and things like that. Navigation, how to navigate up and down. So it's going to be a practical session. So I believe that at your end, you should have your computer. So as you are doing it, you'll also be doing there. But if you don't have your computer, no problem. Just observe what we're doing. So have Shift, Tab, on cell, in cell, stretching to fit, other fitting options, perfect size, color, bold, italics, currency formatting, names and renaming of the sheets, and other simple formatting issues. Now, typing, editing, copy and paste, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So let us go. As at now, we already 157. But I know that many will join later. I just hope they will not be dragging us back. We have a lot of people signed up for this. Riverdale is not used to African time, please. So if you are coming for next session, don't come in late. You come in late, most likely you miss out a lot, and you start to drag us back to doing question etc. So after this session called overview, we'll then delve in to other essential features of sorting of data, filtering data in Excel, charts, designs, options, tools, chart formats, subtotal groupings, what if analysis, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, tables, understanding pivot tables, and the rest. There are still so many things. So I believe that most likely we are going to handle the overview, elementary use of formulas on Excel, and the peripherals. Then the next session, we're going to go in detail. So please, let's go together. Let me switch to the Excel sheet. Now, what happens is when you open up an Excel file, let's start from a new. When you attempt to open an Excel file, it comes with these templates, especially if you are with the modern Excel working files. We call it workbook. When you attempt to open a workbook, you have features like this: blank workbook, money in Excel. These are templates. They're all templates that can help make life easy for you. So pre-designed to help you. So for example, periodic table, say US decision helper. You have a nutrition tracker, money in Excel. You can click any of them and explore, but each of them are pre-designed to help you. You can even search for more. Like if you want to do budgeting, you search, use the search option. I tell you the options are just look at it. Search. I say budget. try. Okay, it needs to be connected. So if you're connected on internet, it gives you more room to explore more. So now these tools are just there, pre-designed. It becomes free. You don't need to do more. So, but usually what we do is we go to the blank. So we need to start by introducing you to the blank workbook. Now that workbook will help us to illustrate or to guide us on how other things that we need to do on Excel. So now this is the blank workbook. Anytime you open an Excel file or an Excel workbook, it comes in this form. So just be patient with us as we explain each step or each item on the workbook. Now, what you see here is a workbook, green, nothing on it, but it comes with its own tabs. At the top here is what you call tabs. So you have File, Home, Insert, Layout, Formula, Data, Review, View, and Help. There are other tabs which you can uncover using the higher level. When you get to the higher level state, they will appear here. Like the tab that enables you to use the macro, to run the macro, you also uncover it, to come up there. Now, below the tab is what you call ribbons. Ribbons. So, for instance, now we have so many ribbons here. We have these ribbons are broken down to groups. So this ribbon under home, okay, under file you have some, under home you have some. So this is insert. Under insert you have tables, illustration group. You have adding charts, settings, filter, links, comment. Under page layouts, you have theme, you have page setup, scale to fit, sheets arrange. Under formula, you have different functions. You have functions, you have auto sum, recently used, logic. You know, these are all under functions library. Definition of names, formula auditing, calculation. Likewise, data. Under data, you have a lot here. You have gets to transform data, currency and connection, queries and connection, data type, sort filter, data. You have forecast and outline. So let me zoom this so that you can see more. You can see better. View under view you can enlarge. Now I was able to use a few minutes to tell you about the tabs and the ribbons and the groups. Now, but Excel is beyond that. As they continue to package, they continue to make it more portable, user-friendly. So if you look at under each group, you can delve deeper. If you look closely here, you see an arrow pointing down. If you click it, it will give you more features to use. Any of them you click, any of the items you click, takes you deeper. So you can explore that at your own time. But key that you need to know that anything you do on Excel, you have many, like this is format now. I clicked it and it's giving us more format cells. Okay, you can format cells, you can format the font, you can increase the font size, reduce the font size, change the color. You can strike through. You can strike through. Okay. I understand you're not seeing my worksheet. Okay, let me see. Sorry, please. I need to do this again. Please pardon me. I was not seeing myself, so thank God for the feedback. Please permit me to just explain it again because a lot of people did not see what I said earlier. So this is the tab. These are the tabs: file, home, insert, page layout, formula, data. Please, can we make use of the chats? If you are not seeing me, can you just ping me and say I'm not seeing the Excel sheet? I'm not seeing it. I need you to. I need that feedback. I need that feedback to so that I don't. I will not be talking alone. Are you seeing my? Are you seeing my sheet? The worksheet. Yes, Olushola. We can see now. Okay. Cynthia says we can see now. Oh, excellent. So now we are good to go. Let us fly. Let us fly. Now at the top here is file, home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, and the rest. They are called the tabs. These are major terminologies we must be used to. Tabs. Now below the tabs you have ribbons. So these are all ribbons. So under each tab you have so many ribbons. All these are all ribbons. Page layout you have ribbons. Formula you have ribbons. Uh, Data you have ribbons as well. Review and view. These are all ribbons. Now, under the home, you have pastes. This is a group. This group is called clipboard fonts. You see, the fonts, alignment, number, style, cells, editing. These are all ribbons. And within these ribbons, you have groups. So now these groups, if you want to go in, like you open your mansion and you want to go delve deeper, you just look at the edge here. You'll see an arrow. That arrow opens you up to a whole new world. So let's pick this font, for example. So if you double click, it opens up format option. So this format window, I hope you can see the format window. Okay, excellent. So now within this format window, you have a lot of options. More like what we want you to do is after this training, you don't use Excel the way you used it in the past. Okay, so we'll be teaching you some tips and tricks on how to use Excel. So this formatting tool is one thing that allows you to make your workbook very beautiful, more presentable, and catchy to the eye. It doesn't matter if your company performance is poor. The quality of your presentation can attract a reluctant buyer to pay more attention and get more involved. So that is what we want to achieve, and if we achieve that, we'll be very, very happy. So each of this arrow will take you to a sub and inner part which you can explore at your own time. Now after that, we have many more things, tools like the formula bar. This is the formula bar. This is the formula bar. The formula bar helps you to see what you have in your cell. And this is the name tab. This A1. When you see A1 here, is known as name tab or name window. Now, Excel is made up of cells, many cells. So each of these, these are cells. Look at them, it's like in blocks, and they're all cells. So several cells, millions of cells, and you can actually see the last cell by hitting your, what's it? So now these cells are arranged in rows and columns. What that means is this is a row, this is a row, and this is a column. If you want to highlight the entire row, you come to the figures here, which is the row, like row 15. I click on 15 here, the entire row is highlighted. I click on 17 there, the entire row is highlighted. Likewise, if I want to highlight the entire column, I either click on this, the B, the alphabet, the D or E. By so doing, I'm highlighting the entire column. Okay. Now, each of these cells have their name. Just like my name is Nnamdi Uti. Okay, my first name is Nnamdi and my surname is Uti. Likewise, each of these cells come with their own names. And the name, for you to know these names, you can just look at this name tab here or name window here. So my cursor is currently on cell B14. And this is how it's arrived at that name. The joint where the column meets with the row is known as the cell address or cell name of the cell. So the cell name is known as the cell address. If you want to go to your house, you call the house the name of your street, and then you call the number on the street. It will be number 4 Benisoke Street. Okay. Likewise, this cell now is known as cell number A1. This is cell number B2. This is B and this is 2. So this is B2. So that is well known. So if you come to this D now, say this is D2, or you come this way, this is D5, D and 5. Now, if you bring together several cells together, you are now forming a group. This is a range of cells. And this is range. So you can call this a range. And this range can be named. That we'll know later. You can call it a name. Just like in our culture here, if a lady gets married, she will then change her name. That's how we can change the name of this. We can allocate a name to this range. We can also change the name of the cell depending on what we want to achieve. So we now know that we know how our rows and columns. We know a formula bar. We know the name window. We also know our ribbons and tabs. Then the next thing we need to look at is sheets. This is a workbook. What we opened here is an Excel workbook. Excel workbook is made up of sheets. So you see sheet 1 at the base here, sheet 1. And if you want to add another sheet, you can click this addition here. This to add more. You can add several more sheets. So, for instance, if a petty trader who desires to use Excel for the purpose of recording their daily sales, they can call this sheet 1 the summary sheet, and sheet 2 the sales report for day 1 of the month, sheet 2 for day 2. Just like that. Name them will be dates. So I'll show you how to rename those sheets. So these are, you can add more and add more. So let's assume you have 31 days in a month. You will then have 31 sheets and the summary sheet. The summary sheet will summarize all the sales for the month. So you have sales from, let's say, depending on what you want to see as your summary. Some will say, I want to only see the total sales. Some will go below and say, Oh, I want to see sales per category. I want to see sales in line with the various categories. One, stationaries, clothing, fashion design, other categories. It could be car wash and other services that you render. So whatever you want to define them in a summary sheet, but they will pick in their information from the daily sales report. Now, this daily sales, these sheets can be renamed. So for you to rename this sheet is simple. Just either you double click it and change the name. Can I say one? One represents the one in the month. So I can say two, and just what I did is just double click. Three. Another way is you can right click. Look at this option called rename. Right clicking will also give you more options. You see insert here. You can insert a new sheet, delete a sheet, rename a sheet, move this sheet to a new workbook, or move this sheet forward or backward. What I mean is you can move this, you can use this option to move it this way, move this sheet forward or backward. I want it to go to the end here and move it. Or let me move it to the front. Yeah. So you see, sheet 7 is now in front. We can move this to a brown new workbook. A brown new workbook, and what we need to do is move. Look at the options here. There's a window here. This window, you touch it and you click new book. This new book option will take this sheet 7 to that new workbook. It will open a new workbook and put that sheet 7 there. However, the danger of this is some people are so much in a hurry, so they will move this workbook to this sheet to that workbook, and they will not leave a copy of a copy here, and that will be dangerous if you still need to use a copy of this workbook here, this sheet on this workbook. So what you need to do to avoid that is while you are clicking this, you should also check this box, create a copy. Create a copy. This create a copy will now make a copy there, and still you have the copy still in this workbook. So let's use that and see how it goes. So you see, we now have a new workbook here. New workbook. This workbook is known as workbook 2, and at the base here you see sheet 7. Sheet 7. So I want to close this so that we go back to the other sheet that we're using. Okay. What have I done? Okay, don't save. Okay, so we go back here. Now, other things you could do is you right click again. You can view code. This is for those that want to use the advanced feature. View code. Protect sheets. You can protect your worksheets using passwords. Depending on what you want to do. So if you want to send it in a way. Sorry for that breaking transmission. I don't know what happened there, but I think we are still on track. Please reserve all your questions to the end of the session. Let's just wait a bit. So now we already have. I've explained that you can do more, like the coloring. The coloring. These tabs are currently in gray. You can change the color. using this color option. I love blue, so I can change it to blue. You might like yellow. It depends on what you want to achieve, You can say a combination of two different colors. A color for a green can represent public holiday if you want. So let's say in the month you after putting your information on the spreadsheet, then you want to see the ones that are weekdays and public holidays and the rest. You can use colors to change to differentiate them. It depends on what you want to achieve. You can also say you want to use it to differentiate excellent performance. So let's say the days that you exceeded your planned sales. Now those days can be highlighted in green, with the assumption that green represents growth. Okay, so whatever you chose is up to you to do that. Now that is for color. So you now have height. Now when you have so many worksheets here, so many sheets, and you feel that some of them are not relevant for the purpose of maybe your employee or your supervisor or your management team, you can decide to hide some of them. So this is it. If I want to hide this sheet 7, I'll just click on hide. Right click and hide. So you see that it's no longer there. Looking closely too, you find out that these sheets, let me call this summary, SUM, short form of summary. 1, 2, 3, 4, rename 4, 5, 6, 6. Now we just have this few. We're using this for a test, okay? So you have this few, and you want to add more. There's this bar here which you can stretch. You can either stretch it or reduce it. It gives you room for more to display more of your sheets. So you can take it so low, so small, so that you can see more. So the more you add these sheets, the more they'll be appearing there. Then, having explained that, then let's look at this. There's this zoom option here towards the right-hand corner of your spreadsheet. You can use it to zoom. It's like this view option that we use to zoom to increase it or reduce. So you can slide it. It's a slider in sliding form. You can slide it to become smaller or go towards the right to become larger. So you see how the cells are increasing and reducing. That is also is very helpful when we are formatting or we're using our Excel sheet. Now, that aside, if you look closely too, you find out that these cells are so large that you cannot see everything at once. Now, it's just like a piece of land. Let's say a land as huge as Lagos State. Then Lagos State is now broken down to different local government, Kostrofe, Oshodi Solo, Ibejuleki, all those local government and communities and subgroups category. That's how you can also break down this workbook, this sheet. So when we do that, we call it, we say we are trying to format. We are trying to change the nature or the normal characteristics of these cells. So let's assume you are the HR manager, and you now want to list your staff. So you need to list out this staff using certain parameters. So let's say your company is a ABC Limited, and they want to have the HR manager list out the list of staff. Okay, some people say they can't hear me, but if you can hear me, please say I can hear you, because we need to be sure where the problem is coming from. If it's from me, see, they can hear me. So what that means is most likely you need to check your speaker. Your speaker needs to be set to your speaker is usually on the left hand side lower part of your laptop. You'll see it comes with mic in shape of mic. So what you need to do is just adjust it to same. So uh, so when you look at if you look at this worksheet, I have put the name of the company, which is the normal standard when you're talking about presenting your reports. Those in the higher institution, those that went through the higher institution or professional bodies, you must have taught you how to present your reports. So let's assume you are the HR manager of ABC PLC. And your management team says, okay, give me your names, names and departments of your staff. All you need to do is come to a spreadsheet here and say serial number, name, department. You can also say, oh, sorry. You can also say grade. Now, if you look closely, you'll find out that department is not fully spelled here. Now, why this is so is because this Excel file, anytime you open an Excel workbook, it comes with a predefined length and breadth. Although you can change it, but there are some other things you need to note. This department, as written here, if you look at the formula bar up there, you'll see it in full, department. But when you look at when you put your cursor here, you find out that it's still some parts, some alphabets are missing. Excel has the capacity of being stretched. So you can stretch it by holding the cursor. Look at this cross, a cross with two arrows at the two ends, two arrows pointing towards two directions. So what it means is that you can stretch in either way. So you can come forward or backward and stretch it to fit. So if you stretch it this way, you see that department is now visible. But a fast way to get this done is to double click. So when you have this cursor there, you just double click. It will expand to fit. So now the HR manager wants to say, Mr. Wu, the first man in the street is known as Ibrahim. Nnamdi. Okay. Then his department is accounts department. There's accounts. His grade is manager. Next staff is Esther Rumi. Esther Rumi is a sales staff and is also a manager. Ayeni Al-Hassan is the third staff, engineer. manager. First staff, Buhari. Emeka. He is operation staff. He's also a manager. Fifth staff, Josephine. Josephine. Our assistant accounts officer. Now, look at this very closely. You see that Ibrahim Nnamdi is missing. Esther Rumi is missing. So this is how it usually appears, but nothing is actually missing. All you need to do is double click and expand, double click and expand, double click and expand to fit. This first column here, you know that serial number is too small, too little. So you can actually stretch it back to get this while the name ABC Limited is still there. This appears a bit beautiful, but it is not up to our standard. So, but before I explain, go further, let me explain some things. You can actually, let's assume the name here, Ibrahim Nnamdi. You wanted to correct this name. You can come to the formula bar here and correct it. So let's say the name should have been Sunday, Ibrahim Sunday. You see, all you need to do is come to the formula bar and change it. There's a school of thought that recommend that you go to F2. When you click on F2 on your keyboard, you see that the cursor will be blinking there on the particular cell where you want to make the inside the particular cell you want to do the correct effect correction. So all you need to do is you correct it. You can say Monday. So it's as good as that. So you don't need to delete everything like some of us normally do. We just delete everything and start all over. You don't need to delete everything. You can correct one single cell, one single character. You can correct that single character and you move on. So now we now have department, but still it's not presentable. It's not presentable in line with Riverdale's approach because we want you to go above the normal standard. So this is it. And what we've done now, we've not even added a formula. We've not added any formula, which is one powerful tool that Excel has. So what we're doing is just presentation. Some people can use Excel as a Word document, type their letter and things like that. But we will get to that later. So this is the heading, and this is the subheading. Remember that your report must have a timeline. Say in the month of January, list of staff in the month of January. Okay, so I should share my screen in full. Okay, share my screen in full. Let me see what that means now. Can you see my worksheet now? Please, if you can see this, let me know. The chat box. Yes, okay, so thank you. So now this is basically how to present in Excel. But you see, I put it January 2021. Now, this is still not in line with our style. When you finish this training, we expect that the quality of your report should be much, much higher. So we need to put some creativity. You know, when ladies are trying to, you know, put on their makeup, they take time to present it. When they want to cook a delicious egusi soup, I like egusi soup very well, delicious one. You know when to put maggi, when to put the fish, when to put the meat, and the water used to cook for cooking the meat, for steaming the meat, and the other ingredients. They have a time. Likewise, when you are presenting your report in Excel, there is a level of presentation that can even make someone that is not interested in your report to pause and say, let me take a look at this. That's what we are looking at. So you look at this elementary report, and everything here, remember we just did them just using it for presentation. So I would like to say, let me put insert. So if you right click, if you look at this row 3, you right click the row 3, you see so many other things you can do. You can insert, you can delete, you can clear content. So if you clear content, it means that all this information will delete, will disappear. So row height, you can increase the row height. The row height, I mean, from this point to this point. So if I want to increase that, I will just simply click on the row height. I can hide the row, I can unhide the row. So, but because of my presentation, I want to insert a row. So this is a row inserted now. I also want this to be large. I want this to be large, so I can either do Control B, this bold. Those of you that use the Word document, you know that Control B is bold. Then you can increase the font, but we'll do that later. But now look at this closely. I want it somewhere, if I print this, it will come out with good lines. Now, if you look closely, this Excel file comes, each of these cells come with some lines. These lines are known as grid lines. Grid lines. These lines are grid lines. So this one is a grid line that goes horizontally and vertically. We can take it off such that there's no more grid line. And what do? You just come to view. Under view, you have grid lines. Just check here. If you uncheck this, it goes off. So it will then come like a blank sheet of paper. A blank sheet of paper, although the cells are still there. So, but you take them back. When you want to print, most times you don't print out with the grid line. So what we need to do is to add some kind of formatting that will add some beautiful lines based on what we want it to be. So I will then click, if I'm in your shoes, the HR manager, I will then right click a new window for formatting. So let me do it again so that we. So when you right click, when you highlight a range of cells and you right click, a lot of Excel allows you to do a lot of things at the same time. It can allow you to cut. You can cut the entire highlighted region and take it to another worksheet. You can copy. You can paste. You can do smart lookup. You can paste special. That I will explain later. You can insert. You can insert new rows or new columns. You can delete. You can clear content. You can translate. You can do quick analysis. Filter. This filter, you can filter in terms of value, color, whatever you want to filter. You can sort. You can do data table, new comment. You can insert new comments. And these new comments are hidden in such a way that it allows you, the user of the worksheet, to know what you are trying to achieve. So I'll do one example so you know. You can insert new notes, but what we are targeting is this format cells. Format cells. We want to format cell. So to format cell means that you are going to be exposed to so many things. But so before we do that, let's go further. Define a name. So you can put a name, define a name for this cell, and you can insert a link. So Let's go to format cells. A window will open up. Now, this window opens up a whole lot of opportunities for you to explore. Now, look closely at this window. You have number, you have align, you have font, you have border, fill, protection. Protection is used for security, locking and unlocking. Okay. Number. Under number, you have so many things that you can do here. Now, an Excel file, an Excel workbook, a freshly produced generated Excel workbook comes with a number formatting known as general. So they have already setting some general parameters for this workbook to obey. But if you want to tilt it and say, oh, this workbook, I don't want you to behave in line with general, I want you to behave in another way, then you can use this window to adjust it. So I will add more things, but before that, I want you to look at opportunities here. You have number, you can define the kind of number you want. You want to have a comma separator. You want to have the negative figures in red. You want to have brackets surrounding negative figures. You want to have two decimal places or whatever. You have them there. You want to have currency type. You want the currency type to be in dollar, naira, or whatever. You can define it here. So we will use some examples later. Accounting. These are some other accounting terminologies that we use. So you come here to define it. Now, this is dates. You want the dating format to be in line with the Nigerian style or British style or the American format. You can always come here and define them. So you can do whatever. Timing also, if you want the information that will display here on these cells to be in line with the time format, you can state it. If you want percentage, fraction, you see these are all our parameters. You want it to report only text. Text means that it will not recognize formulas. It just understand that this number you put there comes in text format. Then you can also use it. Special, you can also customize it. Excuse me. You can align. There are a lot of things here. For example, if I want to tilt all these numbers now, all this information there, I can just click this and they'll all obey and they'll tilt. Can you see? So I undo. Undo is Control Z. It's also here at the top here. Undo. So let's quickly add some things, more parameters here. We have salary. Let's add salary. Now you have account manager is earning 500,000. Other managers 500,000. Okay, sales managers usually earn more. That's why it's good to work in sales department. Engineer, operations 500,000. But you know, from HR perspective, the salary could be also a function of their years of experience and other high parameters that the other values they bring to the table. So now this is how it is. It's still not in line with Riverdale standard. So what we need to do here is make sure that if I call you now to tell me how much you have here, some may be guessing because there's no comma separator. So you need to go back to the home and you pick a comma separator and you put it there. So that is one of the common things in the ribbon. Now you look closely here. You see the comma separator, you see the percentage. If you want any of these things to obey these rules, you can just click the one that you want. So I'm going to click comma separator after that. Let me see. I highlight this and then click this comma separator. Oh, why isn't it doing this? Okay. Sorry. highlight this, and I click this comma separator. This is one format. This is one approach to this thing. Same thing. You can do this in other ways. So I will undo now and go through the other approach, which is right click, come to format, you go to number, then under number, I want to have this is the comma separator here. I don't want to have 2 decimal places. I want 0 decimal place. And you see, the separators are there. Then I want to include currency. I want them to know that I like Nigerian naira so much. I want the Nigerian naira value to increase. So you then look at this currency. Click on currency after highlighting the region. You see, I did not highlight all this area. I only highlighted this region. And this region is known as column E. So E5 to E9. So the currency, I want the currency to be Naira. So I'll then scroll down, scroll on patience. You see, you have them many here. You have Edo, Naira Naira Fulani, Naira Hausa, Naira Ibibio, Naira Igbo, Naira Kanuri, Naira Yoruba, and the rest. So let's pick which one now. Let me pick Ibibio. Ibibio, for those of you who don't know Ibibio is the Akwa Ibom axis of Nigeria. So that is it. So this is Naira. Okay. See Naira in front. It means that you're reporting the currency. You know, this company, maybe they also have some staff who earn in dollars too. And that's kind of company I'd like to be the director. Okay. So now this is one step. You've improved it, but that's not fine, not good yet. So you need to do some more things. Let's add the lines, some good lines, still under format. You come to borders, then look closely. Look closely here. These are lines, possible lines that you can use to format the area that you've highlighted. Now, most of us are used to picking just anyone. Okay. After today, don't just pick anyone. Pick the right choice. Just the way ladies, I like the way ladies take time to, polish their eyes, their eyelash, and their nose, their mouth, and their ears. If they want to put on their earrings, they put on unique ones. They put on some beautiful eyelashes. So now that's how you do it when you're using Excel. You can command it. So you should be an authority. When you're navigating around Excel, you should navigate around Excel like a matured user. Okay. So now don't just accept what Excel throws to you. No. So like this is automatic color. Okay. So I want to change the color to the color there to say green. Green. So you see that all these lines have changed now to green. They've all changed to green. And I want it somewhere, if I'm ticking, I want a set. See, when you tick that, the regions, whatever you're ticking here is going to be a mirror of what you are going to see here. So I want all these ones to be green. I also want these ones to be green. I can also change it. I want this particular tick green. I want it to be very thick and green. And I want the last one to be this double underline. So you see, it comes green. The lines are green. Also, I don't like this. This heading doesn't separate it from the other. So I want it to look beautiful. So I come to that same format. I move to the next thing, fill. The next option, fill. Now this fill option allows me to pick unique colors. Now because I like blue, let me impose my blue now. Let me impose my own color. I want to be selfish now. Okay. If I pick this color, see that this heading is now blue. But we can also change it. If you don't like this color, go back there and change it. The beauty of this is that you can also mix your color. You can mix it. You can mix it. So when you want to mix it, you say, look at fill effects. This is another one. You can mix it, mix your own color here, or you can choose more colors. Close off this. So when you mix it, you can say, for instance, I want to pick this color. This you can even, go to diagonal. There are different options. It's left to you. It's up to you to do whatever you want. Can you see? So it becomes more beautiful, more creative. Depends on what you want to do. So I want more colors. So because I want more colors, I want to mix more colors. Let me see this color here, this one. So you see, you can pick another one. Depends on what you want to do. So let's pick this one. Let's say that's the color I want now. And then say, okay. So you see, it changes. Changes to this color. And I can also say this should be total, because you cannot be presenting the salaries without telling the management how much your staff cost will look like. So you then go there and sum up. Now, I met someone recently, not to distance, just recently. He instead of understanding that he's working with Excel, he would then use calculator, just like the way they were using it in the 80s, 16 column cash book, 16, those that use 16 column cash book. Now, for those of us who are not able to log in here, or you're unstable here, please remember that we are also live on YouTube. You must have received the link from our technical crew. If not, please leave the message on the WhatsApp, on the chat box, so that they can share it with you. You can share it with others. We want to spread this knowledge. We don't want people to wallow up in ignorance. Okay. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and other social media handles. Follow us on those handles so that when next we have trainings, you can always be notified, receive notification. Now, on totals, after this training, please don't use calculator again when you are using Excel. Okay, if you use calculator, then we know that you did not attend our training. Calculators are for those who don't love knowledge. Yes. So now the YouTube link will be shared by our technical team. So just watch out there. Share it. And this program will be on our YouTube television channel, which that's Riverdale television channel, which you can always come back to watch. But it is better you stay here, ask all the questions, all possible questions, and get it done. Now, Excel, like I said, is a very powerful tool, especially when it has to do with computation. It sums up, it helps you to sum up, multiply, do a lot of calculations that will be such a way that in a very swift manner and a very, very high level of accuracy. Error rate is as good as zero. It's garbage in, garbage out. So if you are not putting the right numbers, the result will be come with error. So usually you blame yourself for the error, not the Excel itself. So we are going to do a little now. It's already 1 hour. So we're going to do a little, we are going into a little calculation so that you can see what it means. So I will not, if I'm using this, I would rather do this instead of using calculator. I'll key in equals to. Now, equals to is the language Excel understands. Once you key in equals to, Excel understands that you're about to do some calculation. It's just like if you want to open up a door, the door knows that the key is what it requires to open that door. If you use the wrong key, the door will not open. That's how it is on Excel. You use equals to open up, to unlock the calculation power of Excel. There's another group of another school of thought that says, okay, instead of using equals to, you can also use add, the addition sign. Now, if you look at your keyboard, you find out that the addition sign and the equals to sign are on the same key. Okay, so you can use addition, you can use also they can, those that don't have I've came across some laptops with 40 keyboards, so they can also use minus. But when you are using minus, you'll be doing everything opposite direction. Okay, so I will advise you to be used to the equals to. So equals to open up a whole lot of opportunities, which in fact we cannot explore all, even if we decide to do this training every day for the next 365 days. The Excel comes with so many calculation tools, which we will explore just a few. So now, there are two ways to do this, or many ways even. Sum, SUM, sum is the language Excel understands whenever you want to sum up things. Programmers, engineers know this. So you come there, sum this range. Now, look closely. You'll see that what you're seeing in front of you is sum bracket open E5 to E9. So this is E5, this is E9 here. This range is what we are trying to sum. And for us to sum it, we then say bracket close and hit the enter key. This is one way to do this. Another way is to delete this and then highlight this region, then use this auto sum key or the ribbon there, and you sum it up. It will give you the same value. And if you go closely, you put your cursor there, you find out that if you look at the formula bar, you find out that it is E5 to E9. Still, this is not in line with this. We have not gotten to the point where we should clap for ourselves. Our format looks good. So what we need to do more to make it look beautiful is we can highlight this, make this bold. Now, whenever you see this zigzag, it means that you need to expand the cell. So expand, either you double click or you just expand so that you can see everything there. Also, note that this name, the name here is not in the middle. Department is on, so you need to center them. All you need to do is highlight all, then use this key here to put in the middle. Then you highlight it as well. It becomes emboldened. So you see, this is how it looks. I can also say, oh, the line at the top of this should be thicker. So I go back there, highlight, borders, pick the next one here and make it, put it there. So I want it to be thick. So you can see that this line above total is thicker. Very simple, nice and easy. So these are the simple ways to format, the simple early formatting, because we have many more things we can do regarding around formatting. For example, we can change the font style. We say we don't like this font, the font is not so beautiful. Artists know this. This is Calibri. So we want to pick another format. We call it another font. We call it Area. Yes, Area. You can call it Area. I have Area here. Area, just Area. You can see Area. I'm expanding it to fit because this serial number is too large. I'll take it back. Okay. Now just look at this. It's still looking dull or not as beautiful as we want it. It depends on what you want to achieve. Okay. But what I want now is I'm using this to illustrate, to demonstrate how to use Excel in an elementary way. So now, this name ABC Limited. Could be Bemi, let me say, Bemi Soke Nigeria Limited. See? Bemi Soke Nigeria Limited. That's the name of the company. A newly established company. They now have you as the HR manager, list out all the staff name, and you have them clearly written. So we now know that, oh, the staff cost is 2.4 million. Now, the managing director says, oh, or you feel that you don't like this format. Now, these cells, you see them that they're standing alone. And since they're standing alone, this Bemi Soke Nigeria Limited is only on cell A1. Now, you can bring them together. You can merge all these cells together using this merge tool here. Merge tool is at the top. Merge tool, you just click on merge here after highlighting. So you can see that Bemi Soke is now in the middle of cell A1, B1, C1, D1, and E1. They are now called A1, cell A1, because you merge them together. Likewise, this title, the title now, list of staff in the month of January. So list of staff in the month of January, you can also use the same total and then say, oh, you can merge them after highlighting, you can merge them together. Just as you merge, you can also unmerge. So you can unmerge. You see, these are the options. Merge and center, that's the default. Okay, merge actions, merge cells, unmerge. So if you unmerge now, it goes to what it was before. So I don't want to unmerge. You can also decide to put this and call it, different colors. You can say, okay, since you don't like this color, you want this color. See, so you do it to come out beautiful. Depends on what you want to achieve. So I don't like the color, so I'll just leave it that way. Now, there are some people who just like having their Excel sheets appear like a sheet of paper. Those are the people that will go to view and then use the grid lines and take up the grid lines, and it will look nice like a sheet of paper. One beautiful thing about Excel, again, is that you can print in a very unique way. Printing, you don't need to. There's someone that printed last time because he doesn't know how to use the Excel that well. He wasted the whole ream of paper through the printer because he was still an amateur. After this, please don't act like that, my friend. So what you need to do is, there are different ways to print, different methods, and you can print preview before you print. So let's do that and see how it looks like. So if I'm going to print this now, I will highlight this region. I come to file there. Sorry, I like the region starting from the top. Come to file and look at print here. Print. So you click on print, it comes with this option. So now this window gives you a preview of what you are most likely to print. So this is how what you want to print will look like in an A4 this letter. Look at the characteristics, letter size paper. So if you don't want to print on letter size paper, you just change it. Let's start from the top. You want to print in PDF. You want to print this in PDF format. You want to store it in your computer in PDF. Of course, this is the option you choose. If not, you change the printer. You change it to any of these printers that you have. You already have some printers installed in your computer, so you should know the one to use. So, but I want to use PDF. Okay. Now, print. There are so many. If you look closely, there are some drop-down arrows here that looks like triangle, but it's very tiny. It opens up a whole new set of windows. So possibilities. So you have print active sheet. Active sheet is the area I highlighted. So, but that's not what I want. I want to print selection. Okay, selection. You can print active sheet. You can print entire workbook. You want to print the entire workbook. That's where you waste so many stationaries if you're not careful. So formatting, I've told you, just like arranging your work in groups. So even if you have 6 acres of land, 6 acres of lands are usually broken down to plots. Plot 1, plot 2, plot 3. That as you are breaking them into plots, you are formatting. That's using an Excel language. You are carving out a region according to the name. So I call this area the staff cost report from HR in the month. So that's for that. Then collation, orientation. This portrait. You want this to be in portrait, or you want your report to be in landscape. So you know the one that you want. I prefer this portrait. Now, later size. I want this paper to be A4. I don't want it to be A3 or later size. So I change it. I want the margin. You see, the margin is the distance between the first item here and the edge. So look at the edge. So I usually want enough space in between, so I can pick this one. Pick this one. Okay. So now the space between the edge is so small now. Scaling. You can print scale, but now aside from that, you can even expand. There are many more things that you can do. More things. For example, I want this to fill the sheet. I don't like the way it is sitting one side. So you click on page setup. This page setup there. This page setup allows you to see more. So it gives you, for instance, you can say fit to one. You want it to fit to one sheet. You can change the paper type. You can change the landscape to portrait or portrait to landscape. You can talk about the margin. You can manually adjust the margin. You can fit horizontally or vertically, depending on what you want to achieve. You can even put header and footer. This you want to say, if you are printing 50,000 copies and you want the footer to come with the company name or the header to come with the company name, you can always add it here by, let's say this in the middle. Want to say Gbemi Soke, Gbemi Soke Nigeria Limited. Okay. Now you want this to appear on each the header. So you see where it will appear. So you see that's Gbemi Soke there at the top. So you can have this already there. You can also come back here, fit to one. You can enlarge it, adjust. I want to adjust. I want it to increase 150%. Can you see? I'm zooming now because it's large. Now I want to change this paper style to landscape so that it will fit in. You see, what you are seeing here is how it will appear when you print it. So I usually like it to be in the middle. So it will just be in the middle there. So you can see. So if you print it, if you click on this print now, it will go to a printer. And that printer that we have here is stored is PDF. So this PDF file will be stored in your computer. That is for that. So that's all print. Now, if you are not careful, you might not be printing a section of this workbook. So now I have printed, and I'm calling this I call it staff cost report, January 2021. Okay. So now that is done. We are home and dry. So it's now translated. It's now transforming to PDF file. A PDF file will be stored in the computer. So I want to believe that we've explained how to use Excel. Introduction. Not this is for beginners. So beginners should have known. I don't want you to go home leaving your Excel very naked in a non-professional way. You know how to put your currency, where you need to put currency, you know how to put it, where you need to use the cells. Don't just type one thing all through as if you're using a Word document. You make use of the cells, adequately make use of the cells to separate your information, because each cell needs to do its own function. Now, if you had typed, like somebody did some time back, okay? Now, what the person did was, let's use this name now, Ibrahim, accounts manager. So the person came, his person's style is serial number, say 1, Ibrahim, Monday, accounts manager. You see, you will now say 500,000. Now, if this is the style you are used to, please, after today, abandon this style, because with this style, you will not be able to sum up anything. You will not be able to adequately use the calculation function. So that's why we have to separate them, report them separately. If possible, let the surname be different from be on a separate cell from the other name. Let the surname be different from other names, and then you can go forward. So this style is an expired style. It's not. It's alien to Excel. It will not allow you to make good use of the powers of Excel you have. So that's it. So now I need to explain one more thing. Let's go to. Let me go to this sheet. Please, I want to know if you are seeing the new worksheet I just displayed now. I need to say yes if you can see this worksheet. The title is Riverdale Professionals Use of Microsoft Excel. Okay, good. Riverdale Professionals. So I will zoom it, and I'm going to zoom in using the slider at the base so that we'll be used to the various options. So I'm going to move this slider this way. Okay, good. Now, this is a file that contains so many records. You know, we are still talking about terminologies in Excel. This first person here, serial number 1, is Mosumola Adebanjo, and his email address is mosumola@smail.com. She is residing at the southwestern region, and the sales value is 20,000 naira. These are all sales staff. The list of sales staff, and they've been making sales, and this is the sales report. However, in Excel, this serial number 1 is known as a record. What that means is Mosumara's record as regards sales. That's what you're seeing there. Likewise, if you're in the HR department, a new staff joins you in the HR department. You know, you normally maintain a file. You pick the CV, his application, photocopies of his credentials, date of employment, and other information. His pension ID, is it pension PIN, and other necessary things. You pick them, and then you put them in an Excel file. Now, that Excel file will capture their surname, first name, and other name. It will also capture their title. It will capture their address, which you extract from their CV, their address. It will capture their qualification, capture their date of birth. So, like this Mosumara, if you are going to put all the information, you continue listing them until it gets to the you capture all the information on each column by column until you get to the end. Now, because you are picking the information as regards Mosumara, you are picking the record of Mosumara. So the record is just a row. This row is record. The next row is another record. The next row is another record. This is how you pick the records of each individual, such that if you want to analyze these records, all these records put together, it will be done with a snap of fingers. You don't need to break your head. You don't need to get several staff. In the 80s, they might get together 20 staff to come together to sum up all the sales of all the staff. Now, all those sales, they will then calculate bonus based on the sales. After that, they will pay the account staff over time for coming to do that job. And sometimes those jobs come with some measure of error. But with what we are doing now, we don't want it somewhere you have that kind of error. All you need to know is for each individual, you can maintain a record in line. All you need to do, make sure that the headings are intact, enough, sufficient to capture all the parameters you want to pick. If you want to pick, for instance, their age or date of birth, you put it there, date of birth. You want to pick their address, you pick their address. If you want to pick their qualification, you have a column for qualification. You know, just like that. And you continue expanding. So this record is something that if you're able to organize your information, your data this way, making it will take you less than a few minutes. So I want to clear content because I don't need those information now. Now look closely again. You find out that these numbers are not separated with by the use of comma separator. So it's still not professionally presented. Even though it has the heading, all these headings nicely done, but still it's still below par. This is a surname. This is first name. This is the whatever you want to call this. We call this Gmail, S-mail. Arts. Now, this is how we could do it. So you can look at this, and this thing could run to millions of, if you want to talk about INEC register, for example, voters register, you have millions of individuals. Okay, so you can get there, and these people could be assigned in different regions of Nigeria, and you can pick them and analyze them fast. So what we are doing now, remember, we're still under Excel overview, and so we are going to introduce some little calculation which we've done a little, just the way you can add, you can subtract, you can do average. Then we can analyze information. So look at this. So if, for example, I want to pick out information from this, there are many things I could do at the same time. I could use the search, which is this Control Find, Control F. Control F. I can say I want to get Kayode. Kayode. I want to know if we even have two Kayodes. Can you see here? It will tell you how many. I have Kayode on row B13 and B36. See, there's Kayode here, and there's another Kayode there. So you don't need to stress yourself, even if you have site deficiency. With the aid of Excel formulas and shortcuts, you'll be able to get it. So let's assume we want to change all Kayode on this sheet to Nnamdi. So you use the Command H, Control H, or even if you use the Find option, there's this Replace option by the side there. It will serve as Control H. So you want to replace it with Nnamdi. I select my name very well, Nnamdi. Okay. So all Kayode should change to Nnamdi. So if you check this spreadsheet now, all Kayodes on this spreadsheet have been changed to Nnamdi. So let's see if we can still find Kayode on this sheet. Even if there are 1 million, they'll change immediately. See, we couldn't find what you are looking for. Click options so you see you couldn't find, Excel couldn't find it because it's no longer there. It's no longer there. So that's for. So I've told you about records. I've told you how records work. How the file, this is a file. This file contains records. Now these records, if you capture them adequately, you might just take those your physical copies to archive and keep them there while you use your data, your record, your file to analyze your data. Analyze your data. So now, the next item we need to talk about is the formatting. So which we've done. I said you can use this comma separator there, or you can use this. Put currency. We've done that as well. Number, currency. I go to Naira. There means several currencies. Several currencies. So let's see. I want to see Naira. Yes, see Naira here. Edo. So I picked. Let me pick it this time. So we have it there. One note this decimal place. We have them there. Then I can also change this, which we've done before. I want to change it to, let me pick this color. Now let's go to more. Pick this color. Okay. So it's that color. So you can see, so easy. You can also sum up. I told you can sum up. You can even do average. So summing up means you highlight, you click highlight the area you want to sum up, go to the base, you use the auto sum and put the total there. The total is already there. It's 1.3 million. That is for that. So we now have records. We know that our reports must have subject. So next one, I think at this stage I need to pause. Let me see if I have any question, and we then. So the style of asking question here is that you will raise your hands, and then we will allow you to talk. Then you unmute yourself and talk, please. Let's not rush. Okay, they will call your name. You unmute yourself and you then talk. So question, please. Can we see anyone with question? Please raise up your hands. Let's see. I hope you know how to use that. Yes, this training session is supposed to be for 2 hours. So the next, we should be closing at exactly 12. So I want to ask, get your questions now, so that we know. If you're raising your hands, please do so quickly, so that otherwise we go ahead and assume that everyone is home and dry with this. We have Bukola Bello. Bukola Bello, please unmute yourself and speak, please.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes. Yeah,
Please, you were I was with you when you were explaining the summation of a, when you're doing calculation, how to do the total of it. But I didn't get what was in the bracket. It was only the equal to sign and sum.
Okay, I will explain that
Hello?
again. I will explain that again. Don't worry.
Okay.
So we have blessing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, blessing Ogwesie. Unmute yourself and speak.
Ogwesie. All right. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for the training. Unfortunately, I joined very late, and I was wondering if there's going to be a video for those of us who joined the training late for us to watch. But so far, from the little I joined, I understood everything you.
Excellent. So there will be a video.
Taught us. Thank you.
There'll be a video at the end. It will be shared. Okay. So it will be shared to your mail. But don't bank on that, because we believe that when we get feedbacks directly during the training session, we'll be able to gauge the performance and the expectation of the members, of the attendees. So we need that, very important, so that we can deliver subsequent session. This is going to be in the series. This is the first of the series. So we are going to have another one soon, which will be communicated to you. So thank you. Haruna,
right.
can you
unmute
yourself? Yeah. Haruna, over to you. Yes.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, Haruna, go ahead.
Please, I want you to explain to us how you input account numbers. Like, let's say you are preparing salary for your staff. Some of the account numbers started with 00. So if you don't format it properly, it will not show the zeros at the beginning.
Yes, you're right.
So the formatting of how to put such numbers, like the account numbers starting with 00.
I'll add that. I'll add that. So Adekunle, can you unmute yourself and speak? Thank you. Adekunle.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Adekunle.
Yes, please. Please, I wanted to explain the current sheet where you have email name extracted into a table.
Extracted into a table. Okay. Okay. So the other man is talking about zeros in front of account numbers. Okay. Now, so I will explain that too. Do we have some more people, some more questions? Some people are still raising their hands. I want to see them. Who are the next person? We have two people. Who are the two people now? Now, okay. I think we've answered all of them. Or if you have not yet asked your question, please go ahead now and ask now. Right now. Hello. Hello. If you have not asked your question, please go ahead and ask. I see two people raising their hands. I have Ajibola Hamzat. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Please, can you go back on how you got the Naira sign?
How I got the Naira sign? Okay, Naira sign. Okay. Yes, I see. Because our people have not been embracing the Naira. After this training, please make sure that everybody in your office embrace the Naira. And please, there's a questionnaire that will be sent out towards the tail end of this session. Please make sure you complete it, because it will give us, from that questionnaire, it will give us quality feedback that will help us in the next session. So if you have any area that you would like to see, specific area you would like to see addressed as we are going along, please mention them there. There's a provision for it. We want you to be very, very detailed. If you can do your bullet points one by one, that will be fine. You have Haruna Amadou. Do you still have question? Haruna, do you still have question?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So your hands is still up. That's right. Take it down.
Okay.
So I assume that all the questions have been answered. Okay, we have one. Bande, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, okay. Good morning, all.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks very much for the lecture. Please, I want to clarify on the, if you want to, as you are preparing your sheet, if something you want to make your subject, maybe the heading to be at the center. Hello?
No, repeat what you said again.
You know, when you are preparing your, a sheet you are using as the data
Yes.
you are, they have the email.
Yes.
The heading, you want to be, to put it at the center, to shift it not by the left-hand side, the left-hand side, should be at the middle. I want to know how to move it.
How I did
in
it?
the middle. Yes, because
you
know I was on and off because of office activities.
Okay, no problem. So now
to move the heading in the middle.
Yes, that's merging. Okay, centralizing. Okay. So now, since we've taken all the questions, I'm going to mute everybody. Oh, Andre Ahis. Andrew. Okay, Andrew Ahis. Oh yeah, go ahead. I want to hear your voice. Go ahead. Andrew Ahis. What's your question? Andrew, unmute yourself and speak, please.
Is it okay now? Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for the lecture. My name is Andrew Ahis.
Yes.
I appreciate everything you've done for us. I want to ask, I want to confirm, after this lecture, would there be another one after this?
Yes, it's in series. It's in series. This is the first.
So this is like the foundational
yes,
levels.
But really, we want to make sure that when we start flying, everybody will be with us. Not that they'll be asking me how I entered equals to. No, that's it. Everybody will be at the same pace, please.
So when likely would that be? Today or tomorrow?
It will be communicated to you. It's going to be on a Thursday.
Okay.
Most likely Thursday. Most likely, I'm not so sure, but it will be communicated to you by email. So we will have this many of these series until they are all branded. It's based on the support of the Riverdale professionals, management of Riverdale professionals. So thank you. So now let's go. Everybody will be muted now, so that we can focus and get it done. Now, so some questions that came by include one: how do we format our cells such that it will accept zeros? You know, when you look at the Nubank account number in Nigeria that we use in Nigeria, some of the account numbers come with zeros before the figures. So my friend wants to know how we put the zeros so that the account numbers will remain. Then you talked about the email. How did I put the email? And another talked about the Naira, how we put the Naira, and another talked about how to centralize the headings. So let us go back again to our sheet, and we're going to demonstrate these things using the sheet. Okay, so now let's assume that Mr. This company, that's Riverdale Professional, this staff want to put account number. Okay, no. Yes, did you see what I just did? I just touched the H, right click, and insert. So I want to insert two things. I want to insert bankers. I want to also put account number. Okay. And I want to put bonus. We're saying that this sales staff will earn for themselves bonus if they exceed a certain threshold. So I am using this illustration to respond to all the questions. Sorry, wait, you were not seeing my screen, right? Okay, so now this is the screen. What I'm saying is I inserted. Let me go back, undo. Okay. Now, what I did was touch this H. That's H up there. What it means is highlight all the column. So I insert a second time, and yet another time again, a third one. Okay. Now, the first one, I'll call it the bankers. I will call the next one account number. And the third one is bonus. Okay. Now, this account number, because I want to see the full account number, I'll then insert. I'll double click. Now, this bankers, let's call it GT Bank. Everybody is banking with GT Bank. The account number. Now, the account number, according to my friend, starts with 0. So we're going to start 0. Now, on your keyboard, you have single inverted comma. Single inverted comma. This is the account number 1477663. Okay, that's the account number. If you look at this now, the zeros are there because I put this inverted comma, single inverted comma. Okay, that's why it's there. You can also format this to be text, but this is the fastest way to do it. So we can say, for instance, all the banks, all the staff bank with GT Bank. Okay, and I can also say the bonus. The bonus is equals to 1%. See, equals to, remember, equals to 1%. Look at that. I'm putting the percentage sign, which is above about figure 5 on your keyboard, times the sales value. So 1% of the sales value is your turnover, is your bonus. So this incentive is meant to encourage the staff to sell more. Okay. So now the account numbers, for simplicity's sake, we are going to adopt a simple account number. So assuming that this one is 4. So now I need to explain this because the essence of telling you about Excel is to reduce processing time. The number of man-hours wasted in this country every single day is alarming. In fact, it's impacting on our nation's GDP, gross domestic product. If we're able to run our systems efficiently, most of the amount that we spend on transportation, times we spend hosting meetings here and there, can be reduced and productivity will increase. Okay, so using electronic solutions like this, like Excel. Now look at this. I know that the formula says that 1% of basic 1% of the sales is the bonus. So simple. Since you have done the formula in the first cell, just simply copy and paste. The formula will continue. The formula will continue. So you see, I did not have to type 10%, 1% again, because the formula is still 1% up there and down here. The GTB is GTB. The company maintains, all the staff maintain account with GTB. So I can just easily highlight, copy the first one, and paste all GTB. Now this one, for simplicity's sake, I want the account numbers to be serial. So I'm just let me show you. You see this first one, it ends with 33, okay? And then I made the second one 34. So I'm going to highlight these two. Then I look at this T, the T at the edge here. I'll just drag it down. So what I'm doing is I'm saying repeat what we've done in the format 2 cells. So it has just repeated. So you see serial number 4, 5, 6. We're assuming that these are the account numbers of the staff, you know. just to make life easy for all of us. Then likewise this, you copy this. Copy is Control C or Command C if you're using a Mac computer. You highlight down, down. With this now, you've processed the total bonus. Now, the total of the bonus will then be summing up everything here. Now, that's somebody asked, how did we do the summation? So you just highlight from the first cell to the last cell. First cell to the last cell. Then you come to this auto sum. And you just hit the auto sum. Then you see that the value is already at place there. You expand this. Expand. You get it done. Now, look closely. The total bonus is 13,500. That is it. If you like, you can use your calculator, manual calculator, and cast this. You'll see that it's the same thing. So that calculator that you're using, most likely, you need to put it off. Put in your archive so that your grandchildren will know how calculator looks like. Because in the future, I doubt if we are going to be using calculator. Just like the way you can see that certain things are already vanishing. Certain things are already vanishing. The job, you know, there's a job called horologist. The job of horologist. Those people that fix your wristwatch. Okay. Now, that job is no longer fashionable now. That's how a lot of things that we are using now will no longer be fashionable. Okay. A lot of things will no longer be. So you need to move with the trend. Now, your mobile phone already has your wristwatch, your time. So you see a lot of people going around without wristwatch. So why should you continue to stick onto wristwatch? Move on. Move on. Future is very bright. Okay? And things are getting more efficient, more portable. The first set of mobile phones are not the same set of mobile phones we're using now. So if you are used to sitting down with a calculator, punching that calculator, my brother, my sister, note that in the future, you don't need that calculator. Excel is going to be the calculator. The Excel cell is already so built that all the millions of calculation you want to do, they are all in there. So we are still talking. So let's go back. I'm going to save this file because I'll send it to you. Now we have what we call S-mail. You know, we have Gmail in Nigeria, Gmail, Ymail, Yahoo Mail, and the rest. But this one is S-mail. So my friend was asking, how did I do this and how did we come about this? It was for illustration purpose. Okay, there are many things you could do, and one of those things includes merging data from one cell to another. So what we did here was just to merge the cells. So I picked, this is the email. Let's assume that this is the Gmail, we call it S-mail for our own sake. We know that the first name, Adebayo, and Mosumora, those are the first name and surname. And it's our company style to put the first name dot the surname, then at smail.com. That's the company style. Okay. So if you have that, like all this Zenny Bank, GT Bank, and you have your pattern. Okay. You have your culture, internal culture. So however, anyhow you do it, just can use Excel to analyze, to bring these names together and have them in a single file. So that's what we did here. You later get to know, because it's a bit complex for beginners. That's why I will not mention it now, but that's what I did. Just pick this, that, art, and this together in a cell, and they now form this email. Now, let's go to the top here. One of the questions they asked is, how do we bring this name, Riverdale, to the middle of this file? Okay. Now, we already have this our report ready, but we need to have this name in the middle. So what we need to do is highlight the area you want it to be, then use this merge and center option. Now it has a drop down that gives you more room. So you have merge and center, merge item, merge across, merge and center. So merge and center is the one you need. So you can even enlarge it. You can enlarge the font, Riverdale Professionals. You can even make it italics if you want. You can color that region if you want. See, these are different options. You can pick more. So you see those shortcuts, those items you see under the format. These are shortcuts to them. So you can either use this or use that. So let's go without color. Okay. Then let's leave these ones here. Underline. Underline. I remove them. Underline. Underline is Control U, but you can also remove them. Now we are at the closing. We have just 2 minutes to go. And please, can we share the form quickly, please? Now that questionnaire will help us define the next session, because we want to. There's something we've not done, which is copy and paste. There's a pattern. Excel has a pattern. There's a behavior pattern when you're copying and pasting. Some people have been copying and pasting the wrong item because they don't understand the pattern. We'll discuss that and we'll delve more. There are so many things we'll have to talk about as we go along the graph. But please take a moment, fill out that that form. It's just easy, something you can do with your mobile phone. Check the chat box. You see there. Now, with this, we'll be able to know the key areas that you want addressed. Because Excel is so huge, it comes with millions of functions that we might not be able to cover all. But if we're able to get the ones that specifically address your own needs, then we'll bring them into the plan if we have not done that already. Don't worry, I will send this to you. You want to know how we came about the bonus. Bonus is 1% of the sales, and it can be arrived at very easy. The word percentage. So if you touch this, you look at the formula bar, you see it's 1% of K8. 1% of K8. So K8 is the sales value. So 1% of K8 is 200 naira. 1% of K9 is 300 naira. You know, so when I copied and pasted, if you notice there's a pattern. This is K is 1% of K8, 1% of K9, 1% of K10. You know, that pattern remains like that. When you copy and paste, it flows that way. So thank you so much for your time. Please fill out the questionnaire quickly. Just touch the link. Leave more questions that you want to ask in that questionnaire if you feel like. I think in the next 2 weeks, we might be sending the link for the next session. Okay, the Naira sign is simple. You just right-click the area you want the Naira sign to appear. Right-click, come to Format. Then you go to under Numbers, you have Currency. Now, under Currency, you see the symbols here. These symbols, you have many options that you can pick. You have Yoruba Naira, Kanuri Naira, Igbo Naira, Ibibo Naira, Hausa Naira, Fulani Naira. So you can see that Excel now understands Nigerian language. Okay, they have all these things there. So you pick the one that you feel comfortable with and move on. That's what I did. There's another school of thought that schools use the NGN function option, which is also there. If you come to this, used to see I think it's NGN. So N. You pick this NGN. You call it Naira too. So, but you should by now, after taking this class, you should be above that now. You should be using Naira sign properly. You should make the people know Naira. That's the way Americans make people know dollars. It is part of patriotism to project your currency, your nation's currency. So I am aware that some of us may not be attending from Nigeria, but it's okay. We want you to know that you can also add value to your country. So this is it. We are going to send this spreadsheet to you together with the other samples. You will look at them, play with them, because we are going to use them in the next session to fleshing up the discussion. So go do your own assignment. Your own assignment will be prepare your own reports. Prepare your own reports, maintaining columns like surname, serial number, surname, first name, other names, bank account number, and region. Bank account number, bankers, and region. Now, you see, if you look at this file, by next session, this file will be with you. So we will be doing a lot of things that has to do with filtering, sorting, and it will be nice if, as I'm doing it, you also be doing it too. If I'm doing it, you'll be doing it there so that we know that we actually delivered. So that at the end of the day, you will be home and dry when it comes to use of Excel. So thank you so much. I believe that you must have filled the questionnaire. And okay, said the form is not loading. Moranike said the form is not loading. It's just, you need to click it. Just click it. Even if you're using a mobile phone to call, it will work. If you're using a laptop, just click as well. Let me see if I can click on the site. The form is already in the chat box. If you don't have it, just now, please, if you have a specific question, put it there. Charles Mokolo, what's the question again? Okay, let me see. Sorry. Charles Mokolo, in a few Charles Mokolo, just unmute yourself and speak. Monsura, are you ready? Okay, go ahead. After Monsura, you have Charles Mokolo. Let's take some more questions, then we close. Monsura, go ahead and speak. I can't hear you now. Monsura, something is happening to your speaker. We can't hear you here. Okay, Charles Mokolo, please go ahead. Okay, Charles is not asking the question. Monsura, do you have any question? Okay, so you don't have any question, right? Okay, so I think we are good to go. So I would like to thank, on behalf of Riverdale professionals, I would like to thank, oh, someone is already, Azizat. Can you go ahead and ask a question? Azizat. Of course.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. During the training where you were showing us how to apply the company edge while printing and place it on the center, I tried it and then it wasn't really aligned at the center. It was more aligned towards the right. How do I get it to be at the center? Or do I did see that center format and I clicked on it, but when I tried to print it out, I saw it was aligned to the right.
It's very simple. Let me quickly see if I can do that. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, see, let's use this example, this one here as a sample. Can you see my screen? Azizat, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So what do you see here? Baby Soke Nigeria Limited, right?
Yes, please.
Excellent. So all you need to do is highlight. Then you go to your print.
Okay.
Print.
Okay.
When you want to print, it will not immediately be in the middle like this. So what you need to do is you go to this page setup. This page is set up. You double click. You come to margin. Margin. Look at horizontal or vertical.
Okay.
So if you check it, it will come to the middle. It can be in the middle of paper, anyhow you want it.
Okay.
That's what. Now, please, what tell you that we'll need to follow us on our social media handles. We are on Twitter, Instagram, no, LinkedIn and Facebook. Endeavor to follow us so that we can get some feedback from you to help. We have Peter Akinyele. Go ahead, unmute yourself and speak. After Peter, we have Amos. So Peter, I'm waiting for you.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my question is that the email, how were you able to merge the first name, surname?
Yeah, you'll see that in next session. If I start that now, I need to build it properly. I need to build it, but you'll be getting this file at your end, so you can even look at it ahead. But I need to build it so that the story will flow for beginners. You understand? We have some people that are already advanced. If I jump in there, they will understand it, but beginners might not be able to get it. So that's why we are building the story. Okay, Amos, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, colleagues.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. It's not really a question. I want to sincerely, on behalf of everybody who has probably attended this course and you've impacted them positively, I want to sincerely appreciate you. I want to appreciate your team. I want to appreciate your team. It's a job done. It may look simple, it may look so minute, but you've actually impacted a lot of people and contribute to them positively with this your benevolence. I say the good Lord will bless you, increase you, and please keep doing the good work and keep faith. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amos. We really appreciate the management of Riverdale professionals. We really appreciate that. In fact, we have the managing partners on board. We have the other partners also. We want to see quality delivery. When our clients, when we get feedback from our clients, we want to see quality. When we also send correspondence across our clients, we also want to see quality. When we interact with other Nigerians, we also want to see quality. We don't want to be dragged back. I would believe that this is little things like this can go a long way to make that happen. So thank you so much, and ensure you come for the next session. I remember that our social media handles are there. Look at the chat box, you see them. Then everyone can feel free to follow and ask questions. We will remember our email is trainings@riverdaleprofessionals.com. That email, you can send us mails and we'll help where we can. Thank you so much. I hope you completed the questionnaire so that the essence of that questionnaire is so that we'll prepare ahead of next session. We'll come with things that you asked. Like somebody sent us a mail, talked about I think data analysis, or I can't remember. I'm trying to get the precise word you used. Data validation. That's data validation tools. That's where it's one thing we are going to explore later. There are many more tools. This Excel we are talking about now, what you are seeing here is just introduction to make sure that when we get to the point of flying, everybody can fly together. Don't want this one where we'll get to that point, you'll be dragging us back to chapter 1, or series 1. So this video will go out. Make sure you watch it if you not take part from the first part, so that you don't come and start asking us questions that have been addressed in the first series. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Faye, do you have any closing remarks for the people? Because I'm done from my side. Thank you. Somebody is asking if we can do training on QuickBooks. The video will be sent to your email, so you get it to your email. Video link will be sent to your email. Thank you so much.
Okay. Can we all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So joining training today, and we hope that it's useful in your line of career. So we also want to encourage you to subscribe to our channels. That's our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter, so that you can always get information from us. So till next time, have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.